And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Les, how you doing this week?
Oh, excellent, excellent, Fred. How about you?
Not bad at all, not bad at all. I'm anxious to get to our stories. And this first one involves, well, things like moderate overlaps and small overlaps. The Insurance
Yep.
Institute for Highway Safety releases its list of safest new vehicles. Who will make the cut? Ouch.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's
Yes,
like shredded.
that's right. When you see one of these crashes, you just realize the forces inside that people are taking is just really scary. And we're going to talk about it, though. And over at Audi, they unwrapped the A6 Sportback e-tron.
Mm-hmm.
And there are rumbles about the return of the R8.
Yeah, R8. Remember that supercar?
Oh,
Really
yeah.
nice stuff. Really nice stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if it makes it back. And then over at Jeep, you can have a Mojito.
I'll have one right now. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yes. And then we're also going to talk about the Mopar RHO from Ram. It gets a heaping stack of horsepower, and who doesn't want that, right?
Oh, listen, power, power.
More power. Yep.
And Cadillacs and Camaro get a recall for a serious problem.
You know what
Here
the
we go with
problem is?
recalls.
The front wheels will lock up
Yeah,
randomly.
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Wow. That
Yeah.
would be scary. And we'll tell you, they have a very unique way of dealing with it, too. So it's interesting. And then over at Ferrari, talking tech, Ferrari hopes to keep the V12 engine alive and kicking thanks to Oval. Yup, Oval Pistons.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
we will talk about that.
Yeah.
Oval
We'll
Pistons for a V12.
yeah, what could possibly go wrong there? And you are going to have an at the wheel review of the new Volvo, eh?
Yes, this does not have any oval pistons because this is an electric
No.
vehicle. This is the Volvo EX40 twin motor Ultra and a fun vehicle. EX40 is one size up from the EX30, which is their least expensive electric vehicle. We'll talk about this. It used to be called the Recharge, but this is now the EX40 twin motor. So no oval pistons, no round pistons. It's
No
got no
pistons.
pistons. so, so, so let's jump into our first story, Les Jackson. You are going to be down at the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety very soon. But this week they provided some great information. The 48 safest vehicles. They were vying for the Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards, and these things make a difference. I mean, people, hey, if they win these awards, they're going to sell a lot of vehicles, aren't they?
Well, that's right. It took a lot of years before the buying public started putting safety, way at the top of their wish list. And that's a good thing. It's a smart thing. And the IIHS just crashes them every day, every day,
Yeah.
all day.
Yep.
Um, there's what do you do for a living? I crash cars.
Yes.
So it turns out, boy, this is a bad year for the F-150. Not only did they lose the top selling truck, but Toyota took that, and they also is the only pickup truck, the Tundra, with top safety pick.
Yeah.
So well
Well,
done.
yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about IIHS tests, and it gets harder every year. And not that long ago, they released these moderate overlap, and small overlap tests. It's about somebody kind of coming into your lane, and they don't hit the vehicle head on. They hit it just on the one side, which, if you think about that, that
Yeah,
really creates problems for the
that's
safety system
that is the most
systems.
dangerous crash. It used to be called the frontal offset crash,
Mm-hmm.
where just a corner of the two cars hitting each other. So that all of those forces are concentrated in a very small area of geography of the vehicle. So the danger, of course, is that those forces are not far from you as the driver, and those are the most deadly crashes. So they get worse, and ouch, we're
That's
watching these.
Yeah, that's not going
Yeah.
to be repairable. I can tell you.
No, that's not going to buff out
No.
at all.
No, the front of these
Uh,
things, they literally go into, like, they're pulverized, like someone put them through a shredder.
yeah, it's a big steel barrier, and they go at, I believe, 35 miles an hour
Yeah.
with dummies, and they
Yes.
don't.
Yes.
I have a list of people I want to offer to them
To
for,
well,
to ride in them, but
they also do side impact testing,
yeah.
which is one of the scariest accidents. By the way, this sled, it weighs like over 4,000 pounds. It also has torque thrust mag wheels on it, which I don't.
Yeah,
Hey, you
and
might as well look
you
cool while you're rolling along,
that's right, and that's why you have these overhead airbags, because in these side impacts, as the vehicle is hitting the side of your vehicle, your head is
Mm-hmm.
accelerating right to the window,
Yep.
and you need to have that airbag there, otherwise it'll kill you.
Yeah. My takeaway is being in a crash is pretty violent and
It's
scary.
it's really best not to do it.
Yes, I would say so. And they also test. They also have this. This is like a little creepy almost. They show this kind of mannequin walking in front
Yeah.
of the vehicles. This is to test pedestrian safety. So you're going along, and here comes this kid that didn't look, and your vehicle stops. It's just they tow this
Well,
little
hopefully,
mannequin out there.
hopefully your vehicle stops.
Yes. Um, I just find it a little weird how the legs move. It's like it's just
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a real person.
it does, but so that's what they test for. So let's take a look at some of the winners in this. First, the top safety pick, which is great, but it is not the top safety pick plus. But for small cars, what vehicles did well? Well, the Acura Integra hatchback and Honda Civic sedan. In large luxury, the Genesis G90. And small SUVs, Subaru Forester, excluding the Wilderness, right?
That's right. It's amazing. My note sheets have just vanished off my screen,
Oh,
so
I'll pick it
you
up.
have to
So,
keep picking it up.
yes, midsize SUVs, Chevrolet Traverse, Honda Pilot, and Subaru Ascent. Midsize luxury SUVs, Acura MDX, Infiniti QX60, Lexus NX, Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid built before December 24. I don't know why. I guess did they change it and make it worse? And then a large pickup Rivian R1T. Now, above that, then there are the top safety pick plus models. Small cars, Honda Civic hatchback, Mazda 3 hatchback, Mazda 3 sedan. Midsize cars, Honda Accord, Hyundai Ioniq 6, Toyota Camry. Midsize luxury car, Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Small SUVs, probably the hottest area there. Genesis
Yep.
GV60, Hyundai Tucson, Honda HRV, Mazda CX-30, Hyundai Ioniq 5, Mazda CX-50. Driving one of them right now.
That's right. My screen is back now, thank goodness.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so the midsize SUVs, the Mustang Mach-E, which is haven't heard much about that lately.
No,
And the Hyundai Santa Fe, the Kia EV9, Kia Telluride. These are no surprises.
no.
And basically everything Mazda makes,
It was
except for
safe.
the Miata.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, all the CXs. That's terrific, and the Nissan Pathfinder.
They also do headlight testing, which is a big thing nowadays for getting the Safety Pick Plus. That encouraged a lot of manufacturers
Yep.
to go with LED lights, which has been maybe not the best thing for oncoming traffic, but certainly you can see better with them if you're driving, right?
And they're expensive,
And they're expensive.
but they're much safer.
Yeah. And then what about large SUVs, Les?
Large SUVs, BMW X5, of course, Genesis GV70, the GV70s built after April 2024, the GV80,
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Nautilus, Mercedes GLC, and the GLE class,
Mm-hmm.
but only with the optional front crash prevention. You have to buy the option,
I guess so.
and Volvo XC90.
Yeah. And then large SUVs, Audi Q7, Infiniti
Yep.
QX80, Rivian R1S. Rivian doing very well in this. And large pickup, the safest one was the Tundra
Yeah.
Crew Cab. So Toyota scoring well too. And you think about that, one of the safest small cars, Honda Civic hatchback. I don't know how the sedan did or if they didn't test it. Oh yeah, I got that. The Honda Civic sedan is a top safety pick, and a Honda Civic hatchback is a top safety pick plus. Probably the least expensive vehicle on the list.
Yeah.
That is one of the safest,
And
right?
it's really good to know that, basically an entry level vehicle is safe to drive.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So, um, I wonder, do they test the differences in drivetrains? In other words, when they test the Honda Civic, uh, do they test the hybrid model versus the just regular non-hybrid? Does that matter? Do they?
I think they do, when it makes sense.
I gave you a good
Um,
question when you're down there at
yeah,
IIHS.
don't worry, I'll be asking that. But I know in the past, their answers were yes. If it's kind of a completely different package, then they test both.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very interested in your visit to them because I just think it's great what they do. If you can make it safety profitable, and this is a
Yeah.
big thing to get that award and be able to say, hey, look at this, put it right in your ad, then that's a great thing. And yes, it does make cars more expensive, but as I say again, when you spend more money to walk away from an accident or just have mild injuries that heal up rather than, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I would. I would do
Well,
it.
I certainly would. This is, it's the vehicle can be replaced.
Yeah.
You can't, and your
Yes.
legs can't, and your head can't.
No.
So, yeah, it makes good sense to look at these, and I think most people do, especially people with families, young children.
Yeah. Yeah. And for sure. For sure. Hey, let's move over to our next story. This is from Audi. They're adding to their e-tron collection. which is pretty amazing. And this is the A6 Sportback. This is what they brought out, headed to America, and quite the vehicle. Audi. They call it elegant, aerodynamic, range leader. It's not
Well, yeah, the range.
inexpensive.
Yeah, no, the range is getting up 400.
Yeah.
So it's the next goal is being reached.
Yes. It it's interesting. Very very swoopy car. Point 0.3 uh 0.23 I should say on the aerodynamic rating.
That's pretty slippery.
Yep. 392 miles of range. 270 kilowatt DC fast charging, so you can go from 10 to 80% in as little as 21 minutes. And let me tell you, if you can find a fast charger, it's the way to go.
That's working. That's working.
That's working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. 543 horsepower, standard sport adaptive air suspension, and capable of 3.7 seconds 0 to 60 acceleration. And, well, they might not call it that. They call it a sportback, but it's a sedan.
It's a sedan. It's a car.
Yeah.
So already, it's one of my favorites.
Yes. So, pricing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Single speed rear motor with a 100 kilowatt hour battery. Premium starts at 65,900. Premium Plus 69,800, and Prestige 72,200. Right. And then it
Yeah.
moves up to the e-tron Quattro all-wheel drive, 67,900. Not much of a step up to the all-wheel drive,
No.
Frank. 71,008 for the Premium Plus, 74,200 for the Prestige, and then the S6 Sportback e-tron single-speed Quattro, their performance version, 78,700. 82,200 for the Premium Plus and 84,600 for the Prestige. All you have to add the $1,295 destination. I do like the sporty Quattro one. I have to say it looks quite nice.
Yeah.
But,
Audi has always made very exciting cars.
yes, I
And I don't know I'd want to spend all that extra money for the 543 horsepower versus the others that's only 90 horsepower less.
mhm.
But I guess you'd have to drive both.
I think they're probably the most premium electric vehicle. I do. I think they're just exciting. I think they are well put together.
Oh yeah.
And just I like the design. I really do. I think it's good design, and yeah, I like the seats too. But what do you think? You remember the R8, of course. There's some talk
Very
now.
much. They were fun to drive. They had one or a couple of them in the press fleets for quite a while, a number of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they even had a V10 version,
Wow. Okay.
and they were a blast to drive.
Well, there's a report that the R8 could return as 1,000 horsepower plug-in hybrid with a Lambo. I guess it said
Temerario.
yeah, Temerario underpinnings, and it could debut in late 2027. So
Well,
that is kind of exciting, isn't it?
that is exciting. That's because, of course, they're sister companies, and yeah, why? Also, the first generation of the R8 was had a lot of Lamborghini Gallardo parts in it.
Mm-hmm.
So these are exciting cars.
This would be built in the Bollinger Hof plant. I believe that's how that's said. And it seems like this is fairly far along. And now, just to talk about that plug-in hybrid drivetrain that could be fitted to this vehicle, a 4-liter V8 and a trio of electric motors generating 907
Wow,
horsepower. This is
wow.
how you know me. This is what I said about the Hemi's return. I think it could return with something like that, you know.
Sure, sure.
Smaller displacement, great sound, and hybridization or electrification to get better fuel economy and an even harder hit off the line. I think this is a cool idea. I hope they do it. Do you think they will?
I Yeah, I just can't imagine them not doing it because they did it already twice before.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the market just goes away,
Mm-hmm.
they are, well, I think they'll do it.
I think they'll do it too, and I think it will be quite the hot rod. Quite the hot rod.
Oh yeah.
I think that is cool stuff. Cool stuff. But hey, will we see more V8 plug-in hybrids from other manufacturers? My saying is yes. I think we
Yeah.
will.
Um, the Nürburgring is calling them. So,
There it
and they
is,
have
the
to show
clarion
up.
call.
They just have to go. We
Yeah.
need something to go around the Nürburgring faster than anyone else.
All right. Well, this next thing I wouldn't take on the ring. But
No, I wouldn't either.
no, but this is the Jeep Mojito, and it is a brand new standout green color. Oh
Hmm.
gosh, it's kind of like Mountain Dew, really. I think.
Yeah.
Um, this is coming. It brand new for 2025. It will be on the Gladiator and on the Wrangler. And it is well, as Bob Broerdorf said, who's the CEO of Jeep, we create vehicles that make a bold statement. That is bold. It kind of borrows from Dodge a bit, and they call it Mojito when they apply it to a Jeep. Um, I don't know. It's a little too out there for me. You certainly, it's like your vehicle is encased in a safety vest. It
Yeah.
just needs a hard hat to go on the top there, right?
I it's not the sort of vehicle I would want,
No,
or it's certainly not the color.
no. Uh, but I guess this is a probably an upgraded color. It's probably costs some more money. Um, yeah, hey, that's why they make things in different colors. I'd rather have a nice blue, even orange. The Jeeps look nice in orange,
They do.
which is a
This
little less down the shade,
this
sunglass shade on it.
this is it's a green, and it's a little more green than you want. It's,
Yeah, but there you have it,
it's
the
that's the best
Mojito.
way I can describe it. But it's a Jeep. It'll go anywhere.
Yeah,
Do we have a
and
price on this thing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, it's not a bad starting price. It's under 40,000.
well, you remember that Jeep changed up the pricing on the Gladiator. They brought it down below 50, and
Mm-hmm.
they probably changed the pricing on the Wranglers as well. So they are trying to do something with pricing. But yeah, I don't. What do you want to bet one of those ends in ends up in the press fleet, though. I know it will, and everyone will
Oh
be like,
yeah,
"Wow, that's a bright color." So,
that's right. And that'll be the press car that you'll have the same week that you're going to someone's wedding.
it'll be like, yes, yes. I remember
Yeah.
having a gold, a metallic, bright metallic gold VW, and I had it
Mm.
parked in New York City, and a guy came up to me and said, "Wow, you did a great paint job. That's wonderful." He thought I painted it. I was like, "Oh, thanks."
No.
but but
Yeah,
uh, but we had a good laugh about that. But let's. They're not known for lime green, but they are known for red. And
they're
we're
known for
talking
red. Yes,
Ferrari. This is our talking tech for this week on Cruise Control. And you and we were just talking about keeping V8s alive by potentially like Audi doing a plug-in hybrid version of the R8, smaller displacement V8. Well, Ferrari has a goal to keep the V12s alive and make them more fuel efficient and actually make them physically smaller so they can fit them in different cars. They just did a patent for this engine, the new 12-cylinder of tomorrow. It has, believe it or not, Les Jackson, oval pistons. Oval pistons.
oval pistons.
Yes. And they call them pill shaped. They'll be shorter in one direction and longer in the
Okay.
other. And they feel that this will allow them to package the engine differently, make it smaller displacement than the current V12s, and which we're showing this, and uh, potentially, keep the V12 engine around. I don't think there have ever been oval pistons in any engine.
Well,
Well,
actually,
actually, I
you
just rebuilt one.
you are correct. There have never been any oval pistons, but all engines are built with pistons that are about a few 10 thousandths um, in the linear direction out of round. They're infinitesimally oval, and the reason for that is because the water jackets uh, move water in different efficiencies depending on where it goes around the piston. So the piston can't be perfectly round.
Hmm.
Um, didn't know that, did you?
Didn't know that. No, I mean it's
And
not. It
but
looks round when you look at it, but
oh,
it's
of course. I mean, and for all practical purposes, it's round. But in fact, pistons are a couple 10 thousandths. It's like the Earth. It's sort of fatter in the middle.
wait a minute. The Earth's flat, isn't it? No,
But
I don't actually believe that. I'm just
no,
playing with you.
no, that's that's right.
So you're
It's pretty
saying
well been proven.
pistons are slightly out of round because of
Slightly out of
for
round
better
to
cooling?
accommodate the stoichiometric effects of the engine cooling.
Okay. Which means it
And I
doesn't
am not going
cool
to
evenly.
explain yeah,
It doesn't cool evenly all around it
it
because
will
of
not
water flow
cool.
and
Yeah, of course. I mean, where the two cylinders come together, obviously that water jacket is trying to remove heat from both sides.
typically that's where it cracks.
That's where it cracks. So the piston is designed a little bit, a little bit. Well, it's narrower it's, there than on the outsides where it gets lots of cooling.
Okay, so to try to keep it a little bit away from
Yeah,
infinitesimally away
just
from
yeah,
the
and
hot
it's
area.
very subtle, very very subtle. Obviously, robotic machinery making all the pistons, does it flawlessly. In the old days, it was good machinists.
Right. Now they're good machinists, but their name is T11568.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, what do you think of the oval pistons though for Ferrari?
Well, I think I don't see any reason why it won't work because you are squashing the engine shorter,
Mm-hmm.
and the piston is the piston. I don't think it. I mean, you could make a square piston. It'd be
Mm.
stupid because you'd never get a ring around it.
No.
But theoretically, you could do it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I think they'll be very efficient. I think they'll have a short life
Mm-hmm. But they'll
because
sound
it
good.
will be a problem to make rings for them.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That will certainly be a custom piece for sure. For sure.
Oh, how would you like to own one of these things and 5 years later, I need a new set of pistons?
Yeah. Exactly. These don't
Okay, well
seem to
that'll be
fit the bores
twenty
somehow.
$20,000.
Yeah. Let's move over to Cadillac. At Cadillac and Camaro, it's recalling 90,000 vehicles. This is really scary. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
it involves a problem that has to do with their 10-speed transmissions. The transmission can become damaged and cause, on all-wheel drive vehicles, the front wheels to lock up.
Mm.
Affected vehicles include 2019 to 2020 Cadillac CT6, 2020 to 2021 Cadillac CT4 and CT5, and 2020 to 22 Camaro. According to reports filed with NHTSA, the issue first came to light around September 27, 2024, when it was reported by a GM brand quality manager, reported it to GM's Speak Up for Safety program. They let anyone speak up within the company to anonymously report a safety concern without the fear of retaliation. The manager reported that a driver of a 2021 Cadillac CT5 experienced front wheel lockup while driving. Oh, that does not sound good, does it?
No, not good. Fortunately, it was a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm. But
Um,
the damaged engine and front differential had to be replaced.
yeah, wow.
That's a bad surprise. So, uh, the fix for this is interesting. And we think, well, they just put a new transmission in. That's no problem because they've traced it to the valve body, control valve in the transmission.
Hmm.
Excessive wear can cause harsh downshifting in rare cases, causing a lockup of less than 150 milliseconds. And it didn't cause drivers to lose control or no accidents reported. But frankly, I don't want my front wheels locking up on my vehicle while I'm driving
No,
down the
it's not
road.
a no, no. You really don't.
So this can they can now identify the issue about 10,000 miles before any failure. And GM opened an investigation into this in 2024. And basically, they put monitoring software in your vehicle, and they can determine the wear of this problem. If they see excessive wear, they'll let you know 10,000 miles before a lockup occurs. And in most cases, the transmission will limit itself to fifth gear when it determines that there's wear there. And the check engine light will illuminate, and a message will be displayed for the driver to shift
Yes,
into a limp mode, or the car will shift into limp mode, and they will need to take their vehicle for repairs. So they're using software to avoid a catastrophic on the road failure because there's nothing you can do. You would blow up your engine and your front differential if your wheels suddenly locked
that's
up.
right. This is an expensive fix.
Yes.
So a lot of recalls are, you know, relatively inexpensive for the manufacturers and the dealers. This one, you're ripping the car apart.
Yes, deeply, deeply ripping it apart. It's not as simple as
Yeah,
remember the Kia guy that forgot to tighten the rear seats. Like
right, Right.
For that, I'd fix it myself. But
Well, same here. With Mazda too. My first Mazda 6s had the screws holding the door handles on were not torqued,
okay.
and that was a recall. Well, I said, well, I've got a torque wrench.
Right.
I'm not going to go to the dealer. I'll just torque it
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
It was loose.
Yeah. No problem. Easy fix. Or some of these things are software, but man, that I just don't know what that would feel like. Not
It
good.
would, well, it would be, yeah.
Wheels
Um,
locking up.
it's a momentary, yeah. Well, I mean, I've had, I once in a Cobra had the engine seize and the rear wheels locked up. And it took me a half a second to push the clutch in, but that was quite noticeable.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
and
that's.
you're rapidly slowing down.
I'll just tell the story. I was watching a YouTube thing, and uh, they pilots go through what happens. They'll
Oh
debrief,
yeah,
like they'll watch.
debrief,
Yeah,
very important.
yeah. And one guy's flying, so they're watching this video. And this one guy's flying a small plane. He's doing fine. All of a sudden, the propeller comes off. It goes flying, flies away. And the guy, I love it. He must have been an old fighter pilot because he says, "God, I hate that when that happens." And he like just saw an
Yeah,
airport,
d-
got
just
got
dead
around,
stick
turned
in.
around,
Yeah,
and didn't panic. He was great. It was like and he landed it, and the guy doing the viral debrief, he said, "Watch." The guy looks at, you see him come around the front of the plane. And he looks at the front of the plane like with a father that's looking at a kid that I'm very disappointed in you. uh,
well, yeah,
I mean,
but
it is. I love though when he said that. Oh, I hate that when that happens. That's always fun when that happens.
that's right. That's right. But again, the rules in aviation, it's the 3/8,
Hmm.
which is aviate, navigate, and communicate.
Yeah, he didn't even
Yeah,
have time to
and
communicate. He
stay
was busy
calm.
with the first
Yeah,
two.
just yeah,
uh, but I wonder where it went. If it's sticking out of someone's roof or something.
yeah. Well, the Lockheed Constellations were famous for losing their propellers in
Wow,
flight.
wow, that would be interesting. That
They lost a fair number of them, and several of them crashed, but most of the propellers just went off, and they had four of them
right.
back in the early 60s, late 50s.
Just got to throttle down that engine because this guy's
They
engine
and
went way up.
the solution was to keep the planes flying because they were designed to fly almost as fast as jets, but they had to keep them down below about 350.
And keep your props on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Sorry for going off on the tangent there, but
that's right. We're now, this is the aviation portion of our
well,
of our show.
I also saw this story this week. Turo, right? Turo's like Airbnb for your
Yeah,
car. We
yeah,
always said there was a case where a guy rented a through Turo a Tesla, and then they were prototyping new parts, and he pulled the whole front of the guy's car apart. Remember that? And they were putting
yeah.
on their, yeah. I mean, in one sense, it's fun. You can rent a car that you were thinking about buying, and that's great. I mean, that's a good thing to see if you like it. Well, one guy, there's a scammer. A victim lost $23,000 after buying a car rented on Turo and later listed online for sale. So instead of
Wow.
just being upset about it and taking his lumps, the victim worked with police to find a similar listing, and the officers set up a trap. So they had him go to buy this other vehicle. It turned out it was the same guy that scammed him, And the guy also had another stolen car with him, and it turns out that that's what these guys were doing. So he helped the cops. Um, and it's kind of a crazy turn of events. But so these guys were renting cars from Turo and then selling
Mm.
them to unsuspecting people on Craigslist. That's terrible.
And yeah, it is terrible. And I wish it was an isolated instance, but it's not.
Right. And both of these guys had huge records for this, and they were arrested. And he also had another the perpetrator also had a felony warrant for trafficking in stolen vehicles from another incident. So can't say I didn't know. Oh no, I didn't know. It's
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, it's Grand Theft Auto, but
yeah,
they're out of prison in a couple of years and they're right back at it.
yeah. Well, let's do an at the wheel review. This time
Fine idea.
it is the EX40 Ultra from Volvo. This is their second smallest electric vehicle. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time at it. It has all of that Swedish flair to it, yet it is coming in a smaller package, which is a good thing. And it there's the EX30 that's coming along, but this is a little bit bigger, and I would call it a. It seems like a compact SUV, I would say, but it is just a little bit bigger than what a compact would be. I guess it's kind of hard to put a size on it. But the good thing is, this is kind of a square box, and you have great headroom on the inside. You have these, I guess, what they would call vegan leather seats with some nice cloth bolstering. There is a sort of a kind of a wood-like pattern here, and then they have these floating door handles with this kind of carpet-like material that helps insulate the door and also gives you some great storage in there, which is really good. There's a big binnacle with that is deeply inset for your navigation and your speed. And then you have things like access to the Play Store, Google Assistant, Apple CarPlay. You have Google built in, so you really don't need to have Android Auto on this because you have Google built in. And then there are some traditional controls on this, which is nice. This is one of the first vehicles you get in. You just put the shifter to drive, put your foot on the brake, and go. There's no need to turn on a key or anything. Matter of fact, it's blanked off. That nice wood grain, vertical wood grain, it extends across the dashboard. There's like a little trash bin in the center console, which I liked a lot. Out back, good leg room and good headroom, thanks to that kind of flat roof. Same treatment on the seats, which is a nice thing to say. I call it subdued Swedish interior. The door panels don't have that wood grain. They have sort of this speaker-like grille material, but they do get the carpeting and the floating armrest, which is nice to see. Heated rear seats, a couple of USB-Cs are the amenities for the rear passengers, which are fine. Nice seating location. You can really see out well, except for this little kink in the windows. That blocked a little rear visibility. It's a price of style. Out back, good storage, more of that carpeted material. They must have got a good deal on it because it's on the back of the seats and the floor and everything else. But nice attention to the detail. Underneath, you've got a little shelf, a partial shelf, which is made out of light material, which you can lift up. And then underneath that is the charger, the onboard charger. And you do get your little ski pass-through, or in case you want to carry 2x4s, you can, which is always nice on the Volvo. Up front, there is a frunk. You have your windshield washer fill, a plastic door covers a nice little storage area. You could get some luggage in there. You can take that divider out. It just lifts right out. And underneath is a inflator kit. So no spare tire, just this inflator kit. But nice to see a front. I like the two-tone paint. This was the twin motor edition. It comes with an 82 kilowatt hour battery, 402 horsepower. This thing was snappy with 494 pound-feet of torque in a small package, all-wheel drive, one-pedal drive. I love that. 20-inch diamond-cut alloy wheels. The ride quality was pretty decent, Les Jackson. I know you always asked about that. Ride quality was pretty decent. Shift-by-wire, single-speed transmission, electric power-assisted steering, and then audio and technology, a 12.3-inch digital driver display, USB-C ports, 2 front, 2 back. As I mentioned, Google Play Store and Google Assistant. And over-the-air updates, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM radio, Harman Kardon sound. Very safe vehicle. LED headlights, all the collision avoidance, it all comes in. This had a luxury and convenience package, laminated panoramic sunroof with power shade, 2-zone automatic climate control, 360 surround view camera, power child locks, 12-volt power outlet in the cargo area. And then Ultra, this is the Ultra model, the twin motor Ultra model. That features some pixel headlight technology, fog lights, as I mentioned, the Harman Kardon premium sound, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats. I know you don't care about the rear passengers, but hey, they do get some play here. So manufacturer's suggested retail price for this was $60,750. This is considered an entry-level electric car. Destination, $1,295. All in, $62,045. That gets you 260 miles of range. It has not been crash tested, but I would venture a guess, being a Volvo, it is a very safe vehicle. The color was that kind of nice metallic brown, or tan, I should say. And I've been seeing this a lot, where the vehicles, they look like they're flat color, but they're really metallic. But pretty cool. Final assembly point is Ghent, Belgium. And the rear motor comes from Sweden. The front motor comes from China. Remember, they are part of Geely, or partially owned by Geely, which is a Chinese company. U.S. Canadian parts, 0. And major sources of parts, 40% China, 15% Sweden. All in all, a great vehicle. Very, that's a lot of horsepower for this small vehicle. And I tell you, it would snap your neck off if you really, really got into it. So I liked it. Pricey, though. But that is the price for an entry-level electric vehicle, unless you're talking something like a Chevy Bolt. There are not too many inexpensive electric vehicles. 60,000 is a big number. I'm anxious to drive the smaller version of this when it is available, the EX30, which I think will be an interesting vehicle. That's, I guess, somewhere down in the 40s, or will be somewhere down in the 40s. So it was a great vehicle. EX40 twin motor Ultra edition, nicely equipped. I would say Swedish light on the interior. It wasn't, and you can't argue with 402 horsepower and 494 pound-feet
Never.
of torque. Yes, electric cars are many things, but they are not slow.
No such thing.
Nobody will ever, that drives them, will ever accuse them of being slow. I like the frunk. I like the little frunk. That's a nice little use of space. And I like the plastic door over it. Just seems like it should be covered up a little bit more than just sitting out there in a big plastic tub. The ride was okay. Do you need 20-inch diamond cut alloy wheels on this? They look good. I don't know if you need them or not. My main problem was that rear window, how it kicks up like that with that kink. I know it was done for design and style, but you do pay a little penalty for that with visibility if you're making a lane change. But then again, you have all their great Volvo systems, so they can take care of that and not cause a problem for you. So I definitely though think this is a good vehicle if you want to get into electric vehicles for the price point. I would choose this over a Tesla Model 3 or something like that because it's put together well. It really is put together well, and I trust the safety systems. The jury's still out if I like that carpeting on the doors. I don't know. I never was a big fan of that. It's like a trunk liner on the door.
Yeah,
I'm not.
it's
It's not a deal breaker, but I'm not sure if that's something I like. I do like the navigation system right in front of me, and I think that's good. And having Play Store access is a good thing. And no AM radio, which annoys me, and I think that's about to change. I think that's just a bit of bipartisanship that they that bill will probably pass that bill. What do you think of these vehicles where you just get in them, you don't turn them on, you just shift into drive? That's
um, well, it's a little bit gimmicky, but on the other hand, if you're all bundled up in the middle of winter and you have gloves on, you can't touch the screens with gloved hands. It's pretty convenient.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get used to. The
Oh
Volkswagen ID
yeah.
Buzz that I reviewed last week, oddly, that you didn't have to do it, but it did have a start stop button. So I find when you do this, when you get in there and you just put it into gear, when you get out, I don't know whether it's on or off. That's something
That has happened to me.
yeah, and it's kind of a concern because I like to make sure it's off, and I like to make
Yeah,
sure the doors are
locked.
locked, and that's it. But there you have it. As we said at the beginning of this, no cylinders here. So this used to be called the Recharge, and they did away with that. They're branding it now all as EX for their electric vehicles. So pretty cool, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Um, are you okay with the $60,000 price
I'm
point?
not okay. I'm not okay with this $60,000, but I understand why it's there.
Yeah, it's battery. It's battery.
Just a
Oh,
lot of money.
yeah. Also comes with high pressure headlight cleaning and an air purifier. Yeah, and
Well, that's
for this price, it's good to see power adjustable passenger seat. That is the adjustability in passenger seats. By the way, has
yes, yes.
kind of gone away. Many of them are not height adjustable.
It has, yes, it has gone away. That's one thing those of us with lesser priced vehicles don't have is power adjustable passenger seats.
Something about it being asymmetric bothers me.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
having also height adjustability has gone away on some passenger seats, even in
Yeah, it
manual.
has.
Yeah, so that's annoying. Um, Definitely annoying. But all right, well, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. We hope you join us again for the next edition. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.